make it 8-0. Next time Hornets touch the ball, it's 3rd and 10, and it's Joe Venegas deep to freshman Rich Dosh. He is gone for a 70-yard score and a 16-0 lead. It was 22-zip at the half, but Kearsley was far from done. Here it's Venegas to Burnash for a touchdown. Then it's Dosh, the freshman, with the interception and his 3rd trip into the end zone. Kearsley rolls 36-8, keeping the Big Nine title all to themselves.
We've got 39 believers on this football team, and we've got a whole lot of people that believe besides that. So with that fact in mind, we brought home a championship tonight.
And now it's on to the playoffs for this championship team. In Flint, Greg Molson, News Channel 12 Sports.
This spot in the playoffs, two of the finest coaches ever to coach in high school in the state of Michigan. What would you expect? I mean, it comes down to the last game of the year, playing for the championship, playing for the playoffs. This is what it's all about.
Well, big fella, Gene, you've played in a lot of big ball games at Southwestern High School in Michigan. What's going through these kids' minds in preparation for this ball game tonight?
Well, probably a lot of things, Pat. They're nervous, they're anxious, they're ready to go. They've been coached very well. So both teams are full of just solid players and solid kids. But probably more than anything, the seniors. That, you know, this could be their last football game. And this is a huge game for these seniors. And there's going to be a lot of seniors out there in the field today. They're going to perform. You want to watch players giving their all. Watch the seniors on both sides.
Well, not only is the conference championship at stake tonight, Kearsley is already guaranteed at least a share of the title, regardless of tonight's outcome. Powers with a win can cause a major shakeup in conference play, and possibly 4 teams in the Big Nine could get their mitts on that first place trophy. If Powers wins, it could be Powers, Kearsley, Owasso, and Carmen Ainsworth all time for the championship.
I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on that television at 11 o'clock tonight.
No question.
It's been just another year in the Big Nine Conference. That's, you know, it's year in, year out. This conference, the teams play well. They play well against each other. There's very few years that a team goes undefeated in this conference. 1 and 2 losses normally will win this conference.
It's amazing the balance that we've seen this year, the parity with teams knocking each other off each week. I mean, you can throw out the records. It has been the case this year in '95. I mean, with the Flushing beating this Kearsley squad. I mean, Powers beating Owasso, Carmen beating Powers. You can go either way with that, but it's been just a balanced '95 campaign.
And I tell you, Pat, it's been a balance, but they're fine football teams. These teams that have these 2 losses that are knocking on the door of a co-championship, they're good football teams, and we'll see it tonight. Both these teams deserve the championship. Of course, Kearsley's already won it, but I'm sure they'd like to win it all alone, going away and jet into the playoffs.
Well, there's tonight's officials, the Zebras, man in this Big Nine Conference Championship game. Phil Long's your referee, umpire Jared Delisle, line judge Tom Mora, a neighbor of mine, back judge Jeff Flynn, and the linesman Bill McKinney. Well, Gene, we talked about the Big Nine ramifications. Also, postseason playoffs are also in order for both of these schools. Right now, if the season ended today, both would be in the playoffs, but the season's not over. They got 1 ball game left to play, and as we speak, both Powers and Kearsley are rated 4th in their respective regions. The Chargers in Double B, Kearsley in A, a must-win situation for both clubs to move on to the postseason.
For both clubs, Pat, this is it. It's a must-win for both clubs, and that's what this is going to make it a great game. There's a lot of keys, and we can get into that later, but I just think, like I said just a few minutes ago, watch the seniors on these clubs. Watch the seniors, because both coaches rely heavily on senior leadership in their programs, and that's why they're such great programs. Keep an eye on that tonight.
Here come the visitors in Powers Catholic onto the field. They'll be wearing the white and blue. Let's talk about the game keys. We'll tease them just for a moment. No question, the defense is really going to be the big key tonight. The Kearsley offense, though, may even be the bigger key. That was the difference for Kearsley in that loss 2 weeks ago against Flushing. They coughed it off at bad times, and that gave Flushing the victory.
Any big game like this, you cannot have the turnovers. You have to play solid offense. You have to play good defense. You cannot turn the ball over. You cannot make the mental mistakes. You hear it all the time, but, Pat, it's a fact. Don't make the dumb mistakes.
Well, let's talk about some individuals. First of all, for Bill Tucker's Powers Catholic Chargers, Mike Miller, a senior, leads this Charger offense. He's a flanker, he's a senior, and he's 3rd in the conference in scoring, 10 touchdowns this season. Also one to watch is the fullback, Jack Mathers. 8 touchdowns.
solid kids, solid players, tough kids. Yeah, keep your eye on them tonight. They will be the workhorses, and they're both fine football players.
Here comes Jack Pratt's Kearsley Hornets wearing the blue and gold of Kearsley. And they're fired up, coming to the center of the field. Let's talk about Kearsley now, some of their individual standouts. Toby Mitchell. This seems like this kid has been around this Kearsley program for years.
It's got to be a red shirt. He redshirted a couple of years, Toby did. But
well, he's the leading scorer in the Big 9 Conference, and he's got over 1,000 yards rushing again. Yeoman's work for him.
It's another outstanding football player. They're going to need him to perform.
Well, individually for that Kearsley defense, which is, oh, by the way, the best in the Big 9 Conference. Listen to these numbers. They've allowed just 33 points in 8 ball games, 4.2 points per game. That's just an amazing number, and they're led by the linebacking core of seniors Freddie Schultz and Joe Manzardo, and you might not find two better linebackers in the entire county.
No, watch these two players. They're going to be all over the field. They fly around. They're great football players. Both these kids could play at the next level.
Well, we're just about set to go for the kickoff, and Powers is going to kick it off to begin things. Once again, let's go over the ramifications in this one. The Big 9 Conference Championship is on the line. Kearsley, we have already mentioned, has clinched a share, but Powers can cause a major shakeup with this W. And also the postseason play is also riding on this one. Both teams need a W to move on to week number 10 in the state playoffs. So Powers will kick it off, and doing the kicking for the Chargers, number 84, Jaron Miles. And it's a deep kick. That's taken by the return man in Kearsley, and he's wrestled down right at the 20-yard line. That was number 12, Ryan Ananek. Won't find a better coaching matchup. Two of the mainstays in this county. Jack Pratt taking on Bill Tucker.
This could be fun to watch the strategies that will happen throughout the game tonight, Pat. I mean, both of them fine football coaches, and I'm sure this is a personal challenge for each of them.
See what kind of tricks they pull out of their bag tonight. Ought to see all kinds of different unique plays from their respective coaching staff. Joe Venegas leads this Kearsley offense, and Toby Mitchell, boy, did he take a pop from one of those linebackers. Big number 18 for the Chargers, put a wallop. That was Matt Regal actually coming up from his secondary spot, and boy, did Toby feel that one.
He came in hard and quick and made a good hit. Key on this Toby Mitchell, though, watch the quickness this kid has.
Here's his Kearsley Hornet offense now, done at split end. Salisbury, Sagari, Grimes, Bowling, Schaefer, and Schultz up front. Venegas, the QB, Burnash, Mitchell, and Dosh round things out. Rich Josh, just a freshman, brought up a week ago from the junior varsity. Venegas fumbles the football, and he'll fall atop it, and he'll be spotted down right there.
That's what we talked about in the opening, Pat. We don't want to make those mistakes on either side of the ball. There he just had just a little bit careless with the football as he was coming out.
Venegas loses 3, so it'll be third and 11 rather, from the 19-yard line for Kearsley. Here's this Powers defense now out of the 4-3. They work Buck, McCara, Kujay, and Buzik up front. Miles, Reynolds, and Meisner, the linebackers, Sage, Miller, Regal, and Roy are in the secondary for Bill Tucker's club. Venegas to throw, going long. He's got a man, and it's caught. And we talked about him. That is the freshman, Rich Dosh, followed it in. It's a first down for Kearsley.
How about that, Pat? One of the first big plays of the game by a freshman playing in the league championship. He's got to be a good athlete.
Oh, no question about that. 20 yards on the hookup. Venegas to Dosh. Here's another look.
Watch the replay. We see Dosh come from his flanker position to the wide side of the field. Yeah. Just throw and catch.
Ryan Sage on the tackle. Back comes Kearsley. Toby Mitchell picks up a couple. Got it up over the 40 to about the 42-yard line, close to 3.
Also, 44 John Reynolds on assist in that last tackle.
John Reynolds, the linebacker, in on that tackle with a couple of other Chargers. So give Toby Mitchell 3 on that effort, and it'll be 2nd and 7 for Kearsley from their 43. Powers puts up big points, but they allow big points, and that's been Bill Tucker's problem this year. Vegas to throw, has time, and he's got a man, and it's complete.
Oh, he's still going.
He breaks away, and he'll be hauled down inside the 20 for a big gain for the Hornets.
Not a thing fancy about that play, Pat. Matter of fact, he was the only receiver in the pattern. Only receiver in the pattern. Good throw, good catch, and what great hustle after he caught the football.
41 yards on that hookup. Here it is.
Watch another number 12 come. Just a simple out. Good throw, good catch. Good strength.
And Mike Miller saved a Kearsley touchdown. Kearsley has it at the Powers 16, 1st and 10. And there's a timeout on the field, and I believe Powers called it.
Coach Tucker definitely saw something. They need to make an adjustment right now. Couple passes like that really hurt him in this drive.
Well, we built the running game in the open, and in the first couple of plays, Powers stuffed them.
I hate it when that happens.
The air attack of Kearsley, that's been a big story in this opening drive.
Well, we can see they can throw the ball too. And if you're going to be a good running team, I guarantee you're going to be able to throw the ball a few times a game. You have to loosen them up.
Well, this is Joe Venegas' second year as the Kearsley quarterback, so he's got some experience, and he's shown it thus far, throwing 2 perfect strikes in this opening series. There you see the Kearsley sideline. Gorgeous Friday night for football, week number 9. Cool breeze, but it's dry thus far. Hold our breath. Back to action, 9:19 to go, first quarter. Kearsley has it 1st and 10 at the Power 16-yard line. That's Toby Mitchell trying to swing it outside. And he'll get it inside the 15, about the 14-yard line, as a pair of Chargers teamed up. Jaron Miles along with Mike Miller on the stop.
Good strong running, but I'm going to tell you one thing right now. If Powers Chargers do not start wrapping and tackling, it's going to be a long night. They're getting to the ball, but they need to wrap and tackle. Another timeout. Kearsley side.
And official's timeout, rather, is I think Freddie Schultz plays tight on an offense and the linebacker on the defense has an equipment problem, I think. And this is a big ball game for Freddie. Not only is this his senior year, his final ball game, quite possibly for Kearsley, but he's a transfer from Powers.
Great football player.
Oh, yeah.
He's a good one. Then you get him back in the ball game.
Mitchell picked up 2 on that last offensive set, and here we go on second down. That's the fullback in number 36. That was Mark Burnash, 5'11", 193 senior. Went right up the middle and just went through the arm tackles of Powers. Tiptoes into the end zone, a 14-yard TD scamper. Kearsley's on the board 6. They lead it 6-0.
Well, it's running with power and quickness, keeping your legs high. Good strength going through the middle, and I guarantee there was some good blocking going on as well. Made that drive look easy, didn't they, Pat?
Yeah, 7 plays, 80 yards.
Weren't even challenged.
Just took about 3 minutes, if that. Quick work for Jack Pratt's Kearsley offense. Hornets will go for 2. That I formation set. They'll pitch it out, Mitchell. Mitchell puts his head forward, shows some strength, crosses the goal line. 2-point conversion is good.
I'm going to tell you something. That was an individual effort right there. If we can get that on replay, I don't know if we have an opportunity to see it again, but Mitchell put his head down and drove his legs and wanted to get in that end zone. Determination right there.
He really didn't have many blockers in front of him.
No, he didn't. Powers defense that play well.
Well, we won't have an opportunity to take a look at that, but Toby Mitchell.
Trust me, the Powers defense was there. They defensed that play very well. Toby Mitchell ran right over him.
8:33 to go, opening quarter. Kearsley leads Powers 8-0 in this Big 9 Conference Championship game. Kearsley strikes first on their first offensive series. A 7-play, 80-yard drive capped off by Mark Burnash with a 14-yard touchdown run. Toby Mitchell adds the 2-point conversion, and it's 8-0.
Well, that's a confidence builder right there for the Kearsley offense. They weren't even challenged. Not even challenged in that drive.
Scott Ayer will kick it off for the Hornets. Mike Miller, the deep man, standing at his own 10 for the Chargers. A knuckleball, and Miller finally hands it from his 10. Looking for a wall, and he gets it as he tries to turn it outside, and finally knocked out of bounds close to the 24-yard line where Powers will operate offensively.
Mike Miller taking that kickoff, bringing it back a couple yards.
Well, we're going to see some hard running from the Powers backs, big, strong kids we talked about earlier, but we're going to see some cracking on defense by Kearsley as well. And key on number 16, middle linebacker, Fred Schultz.
Here's your Powers offense led by the quarterback and Tim Shosky, Corey Graham at split end, Huddleston, Barrows, Hammaker, Johnson, Jubar, and Zingerly are the linemen. Mather at fullback, Cardani at halfback, and Mike Miller the slot back. Miller and Mathers are two to watch for this Powers offense. Here we go on 1st and 10. And the motion man is Tinnen. And they give it to Mathers. And Jack Mathers took a pop. We talked about Kearsley.
That was
Putting
Schultz.
Lumber on him. Boy, did they ever there.
I'm telling you, that was Schultz in there, but I'm not sure who got the worst end of that one. Mathers came through with power.
Here's this Kearsley defense now. Number 1 in the Big 9 Conference. Out of that 5-3, they work Dunn, Daly, Schmidt, Zagari, and Navarre are up front. Schultz, Manzardo, and Boudreaux, the linebackers. Messering, Ananik, and Halloran are in the secondary. 2 for Mathers, a hard-earned 2, 2nd and 8. Shosky to throw, has time, looking long, and overthrown, incomplete. Looking for Jason Cardani, the halfback. He had him, he was open, but it was overthrown.
So Powers come on with 2 tight end. With a 2 tight end set that and ran on the first play, and it sure looked like they were ready to run on the second play. And Coach Tucker trying to catch Kearsley sleeping a little bit, coming up quick. To no avail.
3rd and 8 from the 26 for Powers. The line of the first is a 34-yard line. And that's Engelman. Engelman dives for that line of the first, and he's going to be very close from this vantage point, Gene. He looks like he might have got it.
Very close, though, isn't it, Pat?
Ian Engelman, a 5'7", 160 junior on that carry.
I'm not sure about the spot of the ball. They moved the ball back a couple of feet from where I had it to make this thing close.
He needed to get to the 34, and that's exactly where the football is. And they bring out the chain gang to measure this one up.
Well, it's so important. It's first off for Powers, and it's so important that they can sustain drives all night. They have a good, solid offense. Their defense, we talked about, may be a little questionable in that first series, first drive. We sure saw that they may be. So it's important that Powers' offense stays on the field tonight.
Well, about a half a football's length, just enough for the Powers first down. Engelman on that 8-yard carry, and it's 1st and 10 for Powers from their 35-yard line. Shosky with the long count at line of scrimmage, and they'll hand it off. That's number 36, Cardani, trying to kick it outside, working off that right end. Got it up over the 40 to, looks like about the 41-yard line.
And once again, Schultz was there. Heard a lot of things about this kid. He's a good football player. I'm kind of watching him kind of close tonight to see what potential he has at the next level, Pat. And so far he's outstanding.
Actually, Cardani was spotted down at the 43, an 8-yard pickup. 2nd and 2 from the 48 for Powers. Shosky fakes a handoff, throws. Has a man and overthrown, incomplete. Rolando Tinnen, 5'10", 175 junior. Shosky was looking in the direction of him. He had him once again. Another Powers receiver open, but overthrown.
Again, he had him by a step. Well, they're bunched right in there. They're just, everything seems like it's going. I mean, they're playing with 2 tight ends, and the outside men are tight as well. And it's a strange-looking offensive set the Powers has come out in. And
well, it's 3rd and short. 3rd and 2 now from the 48. Line of the first. At the 49.5-yard line. And they'll give it to Cardani. Cardani shakes off one tackler, brought right down at the 48-yard line. And left side of the defense closed quickly on Cardani, who was not able to move it upfield.
Well, just too much defensive penetration on the right side of the offensive line of Powers to give him any room at all to get outside there.
Joe Manzardo, the linebacker, helping out that Kearsley defense. So it's no gain for Powers, and it remains 2 yards to go. It's 4th down from the 48-yard line. I don't see the bunting unit for Powers. Well, maybe I do now, as Mathers is the punter, but watch him. We may see a possible fake. He's also the fullback. Ananik is the return man, standing from his 24. One of those Kearsley men got in there. affected the punt a little bit. Ananek now loses footing, gets it up close to the 35-yard line for a pretty decent return, and Kearsley will be in business here on their second offensive series. Here you see your freshman return man, Rich Dosh.
Well, once again, you really have to be impressed both with Dosh and of course the coaching staff putting him out there. He's a freshman. This isn't a sophomore JV player. You know, this is a freshman.
Dosh is split out as a wideout to the right of Venegas here on first down. 1st and 10 from the 35 for Kearsley. And they'll give it to the first man through, Mark Burnash, the fullback. Burnash didn't get much there. Got maybe 1, possibly 2 yards on that first carry for him. Give him 2, so it'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, there's no question the challenge is out there now for the Powers defense. We'll see if they can respond here. Quite frankly, they had to be embarrassed in that first drive that Kearsley had.
Here we go on 2nd and 8. They'll give it to Dosh. Dosh is tripped up, and he's brought down at the 40-yard line. Good defensive stop there by Powers, number 22, Brian Meisner, coming from that defensive end spot.
Great defensive play, Pat. Stuck his nose in there, warded off the blocker, and made the tackle. That's how you play that corner spot.
And Dosh picked up 2. It could have been much more, but the good play by Meisner will make it 3rd and call it a long 5. Kearsley has it just over their 40-yard line now.
Big play right here. Big play for the Powers defense.
Line of first, just over the 45-yard line strike. Got some movement from that Kearsley offense. There was a host of Hornets moving there, that right side of the line as well as the men in the backfield. All trying to get an early jump. And we'll bring this one back 5 yards. Kind of a strange set there. Usually maybe see one guy, but not about 4 or 5.
Well, you know, that's one of the plays that when you go on the 2nd count or the 3rd count, the long count, to see if the defense is going to jump off sides, is going to give you something there. And we saw most of the players were disciplined enough, and a couple weren't.
Procedure call makes it 3rd and 10 for Kearsley from their 30 instead of 3rd and 5. Venegas to throw, has time. Straight drop, looking over the middle. Looking down. Whoa! Hauled in by the freshman. That's Rich Dosh. And Rich Dosh is gone. Touchdown, Kearsley.
He's got to be a redshirt freshman. Oh. He's not a true freshman, is he, Pat?
Oh, he absolutely is a true freshman. And he's got a true touchdown. 70 yards. Venegas to Dosh. And Kearsley's on top now, 14-0.
Venegas could not have thrown that ball any better than what he did. A perfect throw.
Dosh caught it right in stride.
You know what, Pat? He had all the time in the world, too. I mean, this offensive line just gave him all the time. Let's watch the replay here. We'll see 2 Powers defenders actually run into one another. Yeah, about right, well, just prior to that, nice throw, nice catch. 2 Power defenders laying on the ground.
Not a charger in sight of Dosh. Here comes the 2-point conversion try. Well, Kearsley trying to make it 16-0. Venegas will pitch it out. Mitchell scored the 2-point conversion on the first TD. He scores again, diving across that goal line. And the 2-point try is good. 4:21 to go, opening quarter. It's now 16-0 in favor of Kearsley.
Pat, I haven't had an opportunity to watch Kearsley play this year. I have in past years. They've always, and we talked about their great programs that they had. I'm going to tell you something. This is a special team. This team is good. I can see that right now halfway through the first quarter. There's some players on this Kearsley team.
Just your basic 3-play, 70-yard scoring drive. Venegas to Dosh, a 70-yard touchdown strike. Mitchell adds the 2-point conversion. And Kearsley, 2 times they've held the football, 2 touchdowns. And it's 16-0 in favor of the Hornets.
We can see on your screen there number 16. He's the man that's supposed to make the tackle. Watch on the television screen, watch him make the hit.
Kearsley will kick it on the ground. It's taken by one of the up man and Tinnan. And Tinnan is wrestled down as he got it up over the 35, close to the 36. And the man you talked about who was supposed to make the tackle, indeed he did. That was Freddie Schultz, 16 on the stop.
Thank you, Schultz. Thank you, buddy.
There comes Powers. They'll have it now, their second possession from their 36, 1st and 10. ran just 5 plays on their first offensive series with just 1 first down, and they were forced to punt it away. They'll give it to Mathers. He's got a huge hole. Up over the 45, close to the 46. Great opening there provided by his offensive line, and Mathers took full advantage. Got close to 9 on that carry.
With the middle of the line did a great job that time, Pat. Before they came off the ball last.
Joe Manzardo on the stop for Kearsley. Mathers picks up 9. It'll be 2nd and 1 for Powers from their 45. They'll give it to Mathers again. First down and more. He's into Kearsley territory inside the 50 to about the 48-yard line. Close to 5 on that carry for Mathers. Move the sticks first and 10 Powers.
You know, you see some energy now in the Powers offense. His offensive line are coming off the ball. Mathers is running like he can. A little something going here.
3:15 and counting to go in this opening quarter from C.K. Richards Field. 16-0 Kearsley. Scored on their first 2 offensive series. Added 2 two-point conversions as well to give that 16-0 lead. Here's Mathers again. This time working that right side of the line. Tiptoes close to the 45-yard line for about 3 yards.
Ride that horse all night. Give Mathers the football and let him go all night. Tough kid.
We saw him in week 3, Gene, against Grand Blanc, and he was really the big difference in that win over the Bobcats.
Yes, he was. I really like the way he plays football. I like his toughness, the way he hits the holes. He hits them in a hurry. Not fancy, but gets the job done.
Mathers picks up 3, 2nd and 7 at the Kearsley 45 for Powers. Long count from Shasky. They'll give it to Mathers again, this time up the middle, and those linebackers came up and crushed him. He got about 1, and there's a loose football. No word from the officials just yet, and Kearsley has recovered.
Wow.
We got word there was a fumble from Tom Skinner in the truck. We didn't really see it come loose.
Good eyes, Tom. I didn't see that.
Maybe we can get another look at it here on instant replay.
All I saw was a collision at the line of scrimmage.
Here's another look now.
Watch the middle linebackers from Kearsley come up. Boom. Who was that, Schultz?
Ooh, he took a pop.
Talk about him all night. Boy, that kid can hit.
Stephen Bailey was the man who recovered the football for Kearsley, 5'8", 160 senior. So Kearsley will take over 1st and 10 from their 45 after the Powers turnover. They'll pitch it out Mitchell. Flag comes into the backfield, so it looks like this one's coming back. Mitchell didn't get much at all as he worked on that short side of the field, and he was chased out of bounds for about 1 or 2 yards.
We're going to bring it back. A little holding, offensive line.
Also sits by number 10, Mike Miller.
The officials talking things over with the Powers defense, so obviously it's against Kearsley. You can see Jim Newman, the head coach, one of the coaches rather for Powers, signaling to move those Kearsley Hornets back. That's what it's going to be a hold against Kearsley.
I'm going to tell you something, Pat, about Jim Newman. He's one of the finest assistant coaches that this state has to offer.
There's one problem with Jim. He's a Green Bay Packers fan. I won't hold that against him. Other than that, he's a great guy.
I didn't know that.
Oh, he's a diehard Packers fan. Wonder who he's going to be rooting for this Sunday with the Lions. No question, it's the green and gold of GB. Here we go on 1st and 20. Rich Dosh, the ball carrier. Boy, he covered a lot of real estate, Gene, but didn't turn it upfield. He got it up close to the 40-yard line.
This is a kid, Pat, again, is a freshman, but he was only brought up from the JVs last week, and he's thrown into that starting role, has tonight been a major factor in this football game. Where was he all year? Running up some stats on the JVs, huh?
Yeah, looks like it. 5-yard effort from Dosh. He covered about 15 yards, but he got 5 out of it as he was running east-west instead of north-south, but a good effort from him. And Burnash is the ball carrier. Lost the football, but fell right atop it as he hit the turf. And he got close to 4 on that carry. So it's going to be 3rd and a long set here for Kearsley. 3rd and about 11.
Jaron Miles. Jaron Miles. 3rd and 11. Timeout, Jim. Timeout, Hornets.
The timeout on the field. Kearsley calls it on this 3rd and long set. Kearsley.
This time I'd like to introduce the power cheerleader this evening. Bruce Battaglia, Kerry Gall, Ginny Terrence, Tija
Kearsley, Gene, has really got the momentum on their side, and a good timeout from Jack Pratt to try to keep that momentum on that side and be sure things are set here on this third down play.
Yeah, it's time to talk about things here. Yeah, but, what are we going to run? Let's get back to the basics, guys. We can move the ball on this team. What are we going to do here? Let's talk about this. And, being the great coach he is, he'll go out there and settle the kids down and get their minds back on execution. Once again, another big down for the Powers defense. They need to stop them right there. They had a drive going when Kearsley caused the fumble there. They had a nice drive. They need to get the ball back.
As early as this game is, this is a huge third down here for Powers defensively to stop Kearsley. 50.5 seconds to go before this first quarter comes to an end. 16-0 Kearsley. It's third down and 11. Line of the first is the Powers 45-yard line. They'll pitch it out Mitchell. Mitchell turning outside. He's got some running room. And he is brought down at midfield. That Powers defense, the right side especially, closed quickly because Mitchell had a lot of room to work with.
He did. The defensive backs did a nice job. The outside linebacker kept the play going outside of him. Good containment. Come up, made a good play. Big down for the Powers defense.
Huge stop. And there's Bill Tucker, Powers Catholic, the head coach.
What's he have? 2,000 wins, 3,000 wins at the high school level. One of the great ones.
Toby Mitchell picked up 6. That's not enough. It's going to be 4th and 5, and Kearsley will punt it away. Venegas, the quarterback, will punt it as well. Mike Miller is the return man, and he won't have a crack at it as it goes out of bounds. So we're waiting for the official to spot it at the 25. 25-yard punt and no return.
34 seconds left to go in the first
Well, a huge stop for Powers, and now they've got the football offensively. I mean, we're only in the first quarter, but that was huge to try to get a little momentum on their side, and now they've got some. And here we go, Powers 1st and 10 from their 25. Shosky to throw over the middle, has a man and caught. That's a first down for Powers. That was the tight end, Ryan Zengerle, 6'3", 208 senior.
number 85.
Here's our country's flag. Give you an idea of how the wind's coming into play tonight.
First down, up the first down.
I've seen that flag whip around even harder. Kind of a nice cool breeze. Really hasn't had an effect.
That breeze right there is not affecting the play at all.
That was Matter. Broke one tackle.
Look at that.
Got it up over the 40 to the 41-yard line. Great second effort from him.
Ride that horse. Throw a little bit to the tight end, loosen him up, then ride the horse.
Joe Manzardo on the stop. Clock hits zeros. We've played one. 16-0. Kearsley leads in this Big 9 Conference Championship game. We'll take a break. You're watching the Game of the Week on Channel 17.
This vehicle can take you to places no other vehicle can. To strange worlds and even stranger life forms. To the silicon landscapes of tomorrow's supercomputers. This incredible vehicle can take you as far as your ability and imagination will allow. But only if you don't bail out. So stay in school. This message was brought to you by the United States Air Force.
You're watching Fact Channel 17, Flint Area Community Television, a public service of Comcast Cablevision Flint.
Welcome back, CK Richards Field. Second quarter underway, and it's second and 6 now for Powers from their 40. Motion man Engelman, and that was Jason Cardani carrying Kearsley defenders upfield as he got it up over the 45 to the 46. And he is very close to a Powers first down. And the officials call timeout. We'll bring out the sticks to measure this one up.
Pat, there's a battle going on right now in that offensive line against the defensive line in there. I tell you, there's some wars going on in there. And quite frankly, Powers is winning a few of those battles.
Hear the chain gang music in the background. It's a first down for Powers.
Yeah.
Just enough.
The chain gang.
We've got theme music. Guys in the truck pulling out all the stops for this Big 9 Conference Championship game.
Boy, this Tommy Skinner's getting good, isn't he?
Oh,
Can you
awesome.
believe this guy? The chili and the sloppy joes in the pregame, unbelievable.
Compliments of Chef Tom Skinner. So it's Powers 1st and 10 from their 46.
A lot of blocking.
That's Cardani. He took it into Kearsley territory, close to the 45-yard line. Close to 9 from Cardani.
Execution. That's what Powers is doing right now. Offensive line's playing very well.
Freddie Schultz on the stop. He's going to be on the stop an awful lot tonight. Listen to these numbers. 119 tackles through 8 ball games, averaging 14.9 tackles per game. That is just awesome.
That's getting it done.
Yeah. Here we go on 2nd and 1 at the Kearsley 45 for Powers. Long count from Shosky, and he'll give it to Mathers. Mathers is going to be wrapped up
Big play.
by the shirt tail from behind. A big play from Aaron Navarre, a 5'9", 175 senior. Mathers was on immediately as he got that football in the backfield.
You talk about the battle on the line right there. That time Powers' defensive line stuffed Kearsley's defensive line stuffed the offensive line of Powers and allowed Navarre to come in and make that play.
So Mathers loses 1, and it'll be 3rd and 2. And ball's moved back to the 46 for Powers. Shosky looking to draw those Hornets offside. He cannot. Mathers puts his head forward. Nothing there. First man to meet him was Joe Schmidt, 69. And Big Joe put the shoulder into Mathers, and Mathers went nowhere. And Schmidt got some help from Ryan Ananek. And down Mathers went for no gain, and it's 4th and 2.
Pat, you saw good discipline by the Powers team, going with the long count, hanging in there well, but sometimes when you have to hold in that position for so long, you lose that edge. Obviously, they lost the edge there.
Powers is going to go for it here. 4th and 2 at the 46. The line of the first is the 40, probably 39.5-yard line for Powers they need to get to. They'll fake it, and they'll give it to Tinnin. Tinnen's got some room. He has a first down for Powers, taking it to the 40-yard line. And you said it, Gene, that left side of the line provided a nice opening for Tinnin. He took full advantage and got a big gain out of it.
Number 67, big Ryan Johnson. Watch the block and the pulling guard here to lead this play. Number 67, Keani, pow, drove that D back up, opened up that hole.
Rolando Tinnin with a 6-yard pickup for Powers. 1st and 10 at the Kearsley 40 for the Chargers. Shosky fakes the handoff, throws. It's batted up in the air, and we have flags come in. May have some interference here. Maybe a hold defensively. We'll see. We're seeing Joe Manzardo, 33. Whistle was against him, quite possibly. Being my fault, but we'll see. I don't know.
Mark that play right there, Pat. You had the tight end just on a short dump pass. You had the entire Kearsley defensive backfield just went to him right now. The wideout was open late downfield. I'm sure Coach Tucker saw that, and we may see that little wrinkle later on.
Well, no flag, inadvertent flag, and
2nd out and 10 for the Chargers.
well, the flag was correct, but the ball was tipped before the contact, so the play was corrected. And here is Ian Engelman taking it down to the 35, close to the 34 for about 6.
Stop by number 12 for the Hornets, Ryan Ananek. Also number 33, Joe Manzardo.
Ryan Ananek and Joe Manzardo double teaming on that tackle. All right, watching this Kearsley defense here on 3rd and 4 they're faced with. Line of the first for Powers just inside the 30. Long count from Shosky. That's Engelman.
Once again, he has the guys out there.
There's a flag as Engelman picked up about 3, but that came from the referee, and that's going to be a holding call against Powers. Usually when the referee throws the laundry out, it's usually a hold.
And the tough part of that, Pat, that was on the backside of the play. Normally not a critical block, important block, but it's not going to make or break that play, and that's a tough penalty right there for Powers. Real tough. Had a drive going.
Boy, they're going to move it all the way back to Powers' own 49. It's a spot foul, Gene, and it's going to be 3rd and 21 instead of 3rd and 4. Need to get just inside the 30, so Powers expect him to air it out here on this big 3rd and long. Shosky with time, incomplete. Had his man in Jason Cardani. The man on the coverage, Freddie Schultz, and Cardani might have heard footsteps.
You watch the football, you see Schultz there all night, but I'm kind of questioning why you would throw. We are 3rd in a long ways, and we're going to throw that ball 5 yards downfield, in the middle of the field. Chances of picking up that first down aren't very great.
That's exactly what was my first thought.
If you're not going to go for the first down, run the ball, and lessen your chances of a turnover.
So the freshman and Rich Dosh is waiting for this Powers punt from his 15. Mathers will punt it away, and he gets off a pretty decent one. Dosh will back away and let Powers down it. Down there to down it is Mike Miner at the 16. The 35-yard punt, no return. But the Kearsley defense, with the help of a Powers penalty, stuffs the Chargers, and Powers cannot get any points out of that series. And Kearsley will take over offensively. Time for that Powers defense to step it up, Gene, with Kearsley pinned pretty deep in their own territory. Now's a good time maybe to get that momentum they just lost.
Well, they've had a couple good outings. Last 2 series out there, they've played good defense.
They'll pitch it out, Mitchell. Mitchell puts his head forward, dives close to the 20-yard line for about 4. Aaron Cantley, the safety man, 6'2", 150 junior on the tackle.
So watching this defense, a fired-up defense, an aggressive defense will have 5 and 6 and 7 ball players at the ball on every play. That time, Powers had 5 or 6 people right there at the ball. Just keep an eye on that and see how they're pursuing, how aggressive, how they're hustling out there.
Mitchell picks up 4, 2nd and 6 for Kearsley from their 20. They'll give it to Mitchell again, broke one tackle, dives to the 25, going to be very close to a Hornet first down. That's the one thing that really stands out, Gene, with Toby Mitchell. Not a real big kid. I mean, he's 5'11", 190. He is very strong, and it's going to take more than just one Charger to wrap him up. When we saw it there was only one Powers Catholic player there, and Toby broke that one pretty easily.
Tough kid. Will never give up, always running hard, always has his head up, legs driving.
Well, Toby was 1 yard short, so it's 3rd and 1. Mitchell with the good spin move, got the first, but the Charger defense was there. There was about 4 or 5 white shirts, but Mitchell eluded those defenders and got enough for the first, getting a couple of yards. He needed just 1.
Talking about the effort, a great effort right there. Hit, spin, pick up a couple yards.
He needed 1, he got 2. Move the sticks for Kearsley. 1st and 10, they'll have it from their 27. Kearsley up 16-0. We're halfway through the second. 6:05 to go before halftime. Here's Mitchell again. A lot of room to work with. First down and more. He's down that sideline. He'll take it into Powers territory and finally chased out of bounds as he gets it inside the 45 to about the 44. Toby Mitchell breaks one for a big gain.
I don't know if we have that on replay, but Number 10, Dunn, wide out. Tell me wide outs or wide receivers aren't tough kids. Makes a block, gets 2 defenders. Watch number 10 on the bottom of your screen here as this play develops. There he is, coming out. Here comes Mitchell. Can we pick up Dunn? There he is, 1, 2. Picked off 2 defenders to allow Mitchell to pick him an extra 10 yards.
Orlando Tinnon you saw on that stop. Here's Mitchell again. 5th straight carry for him. Inside the 40 down to about the 38-yard line. Boy, they're just going right to Toby Mitchell play after play.
Did you see the acceleration and extension of Toby Mitchell and the way he was driving his legs? This kid's fired up. Ride this horse now. Yeah.
So Toby Mitchell picked up 6 on that carry. His previous carry, a 29-yard gainer. And they're in the Powers territory as this Kearsley offense. 2nd and 4 now for the Hornets at the Charger 37. Venegas will throw it, and he'll have a man over the middle. It's going to be enough for a Hornet first down. Hauling it in, number 44, Scott Air.
Just a lot of weapons. Good execution, a lot of weapons on this Kearsley offense.
Mr. Air is a junior. He's 6 foot 190. First look at him, and comes up with a nice catch and gets the Kearsley first down. He got 7. 1st and 10 at the Charger 30. Here's Burnash spinning, showing some strength with those legs pumping. Inside the 25, close to the 22.
One of those holes where, you know, a guy like, no, not Tom Skinner, a guy like yourself could run through, Pat. Just a great job on the offensive line there.
9 yards for Burnash, the fullback. It'll be 2nd and 1 at the 21. 4.5 and counting to go before halftime. Kearsley leading 16-0, looking for more. They'll give it to Mitchell, trying to turn it outside. Looking for room, not much there. He got it to about the 19-yard line. But he only needed to get it to the 19.5, actually, so he's got enough for the first down. We'll move the sticks.
Move the sticks, eat up the clock.
Actually, he took it to about the 18-yard line, did Toby Mitchell, so it's a 3-yard pickup for him.
This is a very dominating drive Kearsley's putting together here.
Burnash, the fullback. Got it to the 15 before about 4 or 5 white shirts were there to haul him down.
Number 18 on top for the Chargers. Kujay and Miles. About a yard gain in the most.
Kujay and Miles on the tackle for the Powers defense.
Ball ran to 15 yards.
Burnash picked up 2, so it'll be 2nd and 8. Tenth play of the drive coming up for Kearsley. This drive started from their 16-yard line. We've seen Kearsley air it out with some success from their first 2 offensive series. All of these plays in this drive have come from the ground with Burnash and Mitchell. Here's Mitchell again. Spinning and takes it close to the 10-yard line, does Toby Mitchell.
Boy, I really like the way he gets to that line, picks that hole, and then accelerates. This is a good back. Let's get good play at the next level.
Until we have 3rd down, 3rd and a long 4.
Mitchell picked up about 3 on that carry. So we'll call it 3rd and 5 for Kearsley at the 11-yard line. Timeout on the field. Kearsley will call it here on this 3rd down set. As the line of the 1st is the 7. So they need about 4 yards, does the Hornets, to get a first down and set up 1st and goal.
Pat, you know, I don't see the Powers defense laying down. These kids are still flying around and playing as hard as they possibly can. But I do see a great executing Kearsley offense. The line's coming off, the backs are running hard.
Here's a point to bring up. When we get to the locker rooms for our halftime break, how important will these adjustments be for this Powers defense? And what kind of adjustments really do they have to make? Because they've been there, but Kearsley's just executed a little bit better.
You know, the way I see it right now, they're just being beaten. They're being outmanned. They're being dominated at certain positions. It's not taking anything away from the kids or the defensive calls or anything. I mean, they're still playing their guts out there, but they're being beaten. I'm not sure if I don't know what to do. Maybe Coach Tucker would come up with some totally different defensive alignment that may slow them down.
Back to action after the timeout. 3rd and a short 5 at the 11 for Kearsley. They'll give it to Mitchell. Looking for some blocks. Got it inside the 10, close to the 9-yard line. And he is going to be short of a first down. He needed to get to about the 7.5. And Toby is going to be short by about a yard or 2. So it's going to bring up 4th down for Kearsley.
How about
Here we go, 4th and 1, and Kearsley's going to go for it. That's Toby Mitchell. Mitchell stringing it out. Got hit from his shoestrings. A shoestring tackle by one of those Chargers. Toby losing balance. And we'll see what kind of spot they give the Hornets where his knee went down. We'll see. And he got it.
He got it.
Needed one, got about a yard and a half, did Mitchell, and it's a first down. 1st and goal now for Kearsley at the Powers 8.
1st and goal from the 6-yard line.
There you see that Powers defense. Boy, they're going to have to fasten their chin straps tight here on this 1st and goal set.
I can assure you, they're not giving up. These kids are still going to come hard. This is a school, a team with a lot of pride. They sure did.
Burnash, the ball carrier on that 1st and goal set from the 6. Got it inside the 5, close to the 4 for a couple. Matt Regal and Mike Buzzick on the tackle.
Inside the 5-yard line, 2nd and goal from the 4.
Give Burnash about 1.5, so let's call it 2nd and goal. Ball just inside the 5 for Kearsley.
Watch number 10, he's uncovered. There we go, we covered him up.
1:10 and counting to go. That's Dosh in motion. Venegas to throw. 2 Chargers in his face. He's got a man. That's Rich Dosh.
Guess who?
Kearsley touchdown.
That's the freshman. Having a game of his life. First game on the varsity.
2nd touchdown on the night for Rich Dosh, the freshman. This one a 5-yard TD reception. His first touchdown from 70 yards out. Here's another look at the Kearsley touchdown.
We just pick up the tail end of that, but quite frankly, it was a great thrown football. And he stood in there big, strong, and till the last split second to get rid of that ball, too.
22-0, Kearsley, 1:02 to go before halftime. They'll go for 2 to try to make it 24-0. Venegas with time, looking to the end zone and overthrown, incomplete. 2-point conversion fails. As he was looking for Alex Messering, a 6-footer, 170-pound junior. But it's been all Kearsley. And they lead it 22-0. How about that scoring drive, Gene? Started from the 16, 14 plays later, they finally get 6. Here's another look, a complete look at the TD.
Look at Dosh going in motion. Watch Venegas stay right in there, stay right in there. Good throw.
Boy, not a Charger defender in sight.
I mean, was he wide open or what? Oh my gosh. This is, I'm sorry, Pat, but this is one of the finest Kearsley teams I've seen at this school. I've seen a few of them over the years, like we talked about earlier. But this first half was a clinic, I'm telling you right now.
Well, Gene, you've been a part of a similar situation, a similar game. Your sophomore year, we're on the maize and blue of Michigan. You beat an Ohio State club 22-0. This one is kind of mapping its way out the same way.
And you know, Pat, as we watch the return,
that's taken by Matt Buck, one of those up men, a short kick from Kearsley. Not letting those speedy return men, the deep men for Powers, have a crack at it. Powers has got some pretty good field position. They'll work from their own 35 here.
So say both these clubs are going to go into halftime and Kearsley is up by 3 scores, 22 points, but believe me, Jack Pratt won't let these kids know it.
Shosky working out of the gun, under a minute to go. Shosky will throw it, has a man, it's caught. As they get about 5 yards, does Powers, and Ian Engelman hauls it in and steps out of bounds close to the 40-yard line. Stop of the clock with 46 and 1/10 seconds to go before the half.
Maybe a 4-yard pickup, 2nd and 6.
Well, they call it 4 on the catch by Engelman. 2nd and a short 6 from the 40 for Powers. Shosky out of the gun. He'll throw, has a man, it's caught. Rolando Tinnen catches at the 48-yard line. 8 yards and a first down for Powers, move the sticks.
Also number 20, Steve Bailey.
Clock stops to move the change. 40.8 to go, now it rolls. Again, out of that hurry-up offense they work. Shosky with time. He'll avoid pressure. He'll keep it himself, taking it into Kearsley territory. Oh, did he take some pops from the front and back as he took it to the 45 of Kearsley, but boy, did he pay for it, did Shosky. I mean, first he took a pop from the front, then he took one from the back. He's hurting from all angles. Well, got a timeout on the field. Powers calls it. We'll take a break ourselves. 22-0 Kearsley. You're watching the game of the week on Channel 17.